From AccuWeather.com, this is AccuWeather Daily, a brief host-read article. It's weather news in a nutshell. Earlier this month, about 900 Mount Everest trekkers had to be rescued after they were stranded during a blizzard with heavy sleet, snow, thunder, and lightning at 16,400 feet in elevation. The heavy sleet and snow collapsed tents and covered trails. Hikers had to use cooking pots to dig themselves out. A hiker confirmed that more than 3 feet of snow actually fell. Now, that amount would be 3 times the average weekly snowfall for early October. Tom Matthews, a climate scientist at King's College London, told Scientific American that the snowstorm was more than 3 times greater than anything measured on the mountain, even though records only exist for the last 6 years. October is part of the busy season after the yearly monsoon retreats and weather normally dries out. The blizzard happened as part of a larger weather system, including floods and landslides in Nepal and northeast India that killed 70 people. The news of the Everest rescue took days to transmit because communication lines were also cut by the heavy rain and snow. This year, and for the last decade, the rainy season has lingered into October. The BBC says climate change is leading to more extreme rainfall at the tail end of the monsoon season in India, which meteorologists used to say ended in September. According to recent research, humans are living 20 years longer than they were back in 1950. With 204 countries and territories part of this new study, declines in mortality is positive news, but it's not the whole story. There are still wide gaps and inequities across the world, and deaths among adolescents and young adults are rising at an alarming rate. A report by The Lancet released in September said that in 2023, life expectancy was 76.3 years for women and 71.5 years for men. Heart disease and stroke rose to the top of the list again, replacing COVID that slipped to 20th as the leading causes of death globally. According to the Institute of Health Metrics and Evaluation, deaths around the globe have been shifting away from infectious disease, with sharp declines in deaths from measles, diarrheal diseases, and tuberculosis. Non-communicable diseases now account for about 2/3 of global mortality and morbidity, including both deaths and broader burden from disease. Although mortality rates for heart disease and stroke have declined since 1990, rates have increased for diabetes, chronic kidney disease, and Alzheimer's disease. IHME Director Dr. Christopher Murray said, "The rapid growth in the world's aging population and evolving risk factors have ushered in a new era of global health challenges. The evidence presented in the Global Burden of Disease study is a wake-up call, urging government and healthcare leaders to respond swiftly and strategically to the disturbing trends that are reshaping public health needs." Now, the silver lining may be that about half of the world's disease burden is preventable, attributable to dozens of modifiable risk factors. The IHME found that high blood pressure, smoking, high cholesterol, diabetes, and obesity are among the 10 risk factors with the greatest effect. Between 2010 and 2023, there was an 11% greater burden of disease due to high body mass index, measured by years of life lost due to disability or premature death, and a 6% increase due to high blood sugar. Environmental factors, such as particulate matter pollution and lead exposure, were also among the most significant risk factors, along with those related to newborn health, including low birth weight and short gestation. Additionally, mental health plays a significant role in global mortality, according to the new research, with burden from anxiety and depression surging. While the global population is growing and aging, death rates among children and young adults have increased in some parts of the world. Among adolescents and young adults, the research showed that the largest increase in deaths over the past decade or so was among those ages 20 to 39 in high-income North America, mainly due to suicide, drug overdose, and high quantities of alcohol. Deaths among those ages 5 to 19 also increased in Eastern Europe, high income North America, and the Caribbean, and among adolescents and young adults in sub Saharan Africa due to infectious diseases and unintentional injuries. Globally, for children 5 to 14, iron deficiency was the leading risk, followed by others related to unsafe water, sanitation, and hygiene and malnutrition. For the 15 to 49 age group, the top two risks were unsafe sex and occupational injuries, followed by high BMI, high systolic blood pressure, and smoking. Overall, the IHME found that life expectancy ranged from as high as 83 years in high income regions to as low as 62 years in sub Saharan Africa. The IHME researchers noted that this new information highlights an urgent need for policymakers to expand health priorities, especially among adolescents and young adults, rather than limiting resources. Emanuela Gakadu, the lead author of the study, said, "Decades of work to close the gap in low-income regions with persistent health inequities are in danger of unraveling due to the recent cuts in international aid. These countries rely on global health funding for life-saving primary care, medicine, and vaccines. Without it, the gap is sure to widen." That's all for now. You can find regional forecasts and more science-based articles at AccuWeather.com. And for your local forecast at your fingertips, download the AccuWeather app. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. I'll be back tomorrow with more from AccuWeather.